Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, Reeling in Holistic Health, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm your host, Coach Rice, and I want to make sure that you tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I have my special guest on to talk about real issues that matter most. I want you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live, on Business Facebook page, also on the Be Awesome Network. Stay tuned. I think you're going to really like this next guest. Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I am your host, Coach Rice, and with me today, I have Jamel Matias, and he is a certified mindset success coach and business consultant. So Jamel, tell us where you're from and what is a certified mindset success coach. Tell us more about, and business consult. Tell us more about both.
That's so interesting. Isn't it like a tongue twister? Mindset
Yeah.
success coach.
I love mindset though. Changing people's mindset is big, but I want to know from out of your mouth, what does that look like in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. You asked where I'm from. I'm in the Maryland area.
Okay.
I was born in New York, so I traveled a lot because my dad went in the military very early. So I've seen a lot of places. So when someone says where you're from, it's a very I either claim where I'm at or where I was born. So shout out to New Yorkers out there. But I traveled, a lot of different places. Maybe we'll get into
Okay.
it.
Yeah, when you're a military kid, it does happen like that, right?
Yeah,
You see the world different.
right. Yeah, every 3 years I had to move. Yeah,
Wow.
all the way up until I think 18. So every 3 years I was moving.
Okay.
So, but that may explain, well, that always explains how who I am, but we'll get into that too. Your
Oh yeah,
past
absolutely. I
shapes a
want,
lot
yeah,
of people.
how did you embark upon this journey?
Yeah.
Uh,
So mindset success coach, it's interesting because coaches can have many hats, as you probably know,
yes.
Martha. Where you have a life coach or mindset coach or business consultant, it's all very related. It's a very connected um, industry. But I always like saying this quote, and you'll sorry, and you'll hear some quotes throughout the this podcast here, I'm sure.
Okay.
But it's 95% mindset and 5% strategy. And
Okay.
a lot of times a mindset success coach basically reveals what's already there. And that's part of my purpose is to reveal, your unlimited potential and guide you to your truest desires. So it could be on an individual base, like an entrepreneur, that's transitioning out of a traditional job. It could be somebody dreaming of something outside of what they've been doing. It could be somebody that owns and runs a business. They have some milestones they want to reach professionally or just have a bigger impact. It's interesting because doing this, it's you're the source of all your results and everyone that you impact, right? So it's weird. It's like I say I stumbled upon this profession, but I think it chose me, you know,
Okay.
and I'm sure we'll kind of segue that into something else as well. And the business consultant part is because I work with individuals, entrepreneurs, businesses, and well, slash business owners. So it's interesting how business is not separate from the individual. It'll never be separate. So that's kind of why mindset and business, they're kind of connected. And a lot of people desire more out of life. Obviously, more money, that's a big one because that shapes a lot, lifestyle and time, and of course material things and stuff like that. But it's very connected.
See how that is. So what's your story? How did you embark upon that?
Oh wow.
Because you
I'll
could have
give you,
chose anything in coaching, right? Why mindset?
yeah, yeah, that's a great one. You know, it's interesting. I have a musical background. I went to college for music. Um, and I always been a creative. So being from New York, a lot of the music, started, around that time. It's a very creative environment. And I kind of took that all through school. I was classically trained. I played in orchestras. I was in marching band. I went to school for music engineering. I still, music producer, and I've done a lot of things creatively. But here comes mindset. You're like, how in the world did this man get from there to there,
Right.
right? I always been kind of open to understanding myself. And in college, it's funny, my mother-in-law introduced me to The Secret, which is about the law of attraction,
Okay.
and which is a universal law. And I was like, what is this stuff? I was so intrigued. And I was like, we have powers and gifts that we can connect with spirit on a different level. I was just like, wow, this is very interesting. So read it every now and then. Of course, I had piles of college books that I had to study. I had, what was it, physics, engineering, all these difficult, challenging electrical engineering, all these courses I had to balance between the hobby and, of course, the college that I was paying thousands and thousands of dollars for by myself for a while. So,
Right. I know what that looked like.
yeah, it's so interesting. And thank God I made it through, So with mindset, I was just introduced through The Secret about law of attraction, and I would pick the book up and put it down, pick it up, put it down because I had a lot going on during college. I had full-time schedule. I was working a full-time job for a couple of years. Um, I was barely sleeping, barely eating. I don't understand, but that was what kind of shaped who I am now. And after college, I attracted, it's so weird. I attracted Bob Proctor, uh, who is known as a leader in personal growth and personal development that changed millions of lives, continues to, even after his passing. Um, so he kind of explained more of what I was seeking intellectually and also spiritually to know more about myself and how I can tap into, this greatness. And that's where mindset came. Law of attraction explained a little bit of it. But I wanted to go deeper about how does it work and how do I apply it to myself at a deeper level. And then here he comes. I tracked Bob. I love sharing this story because I was in a tough place professionally. I just wasn't fulfilled. I remember sitting there just asking for guidance, and here comes this guy on YouTube. He just showed up, like, I think probably that night. I came home and I was just flipping through YouTube. I was like, and he's screaming and yelling about stuff. He's so passionate. And that's where I kind of connected with more about our mindset and how we thoughts become things and we become what
Yes.
we think about and how thoughts create vibration, the conscious and subconscious. And yeah, I'm excited about it. And then I was like, wow, so let me start applying some of this stuff. And here I am, I partner with his company and I'm helping a lot of people, with this material because we all have these gifts. We all do. And a lot of people don't know what we really have and who we really are. So that's a long
And
answer. Yeah.
because thoughts do drive behavior and behavior drive results. And so when you when you are with your clients, and what is the number one thing that you see on a regular basis that you find that common in the area of mindset?
Good question, Martha. Um, yeah, what I see a lot is limiting beliefs.
Yes.
A lot of people don't see themselves, they desire more, but they're afraid that they won't succeed, right? And I know that's a limiting belief in their subconscious mind. Um, it's funny you mentioned off camera San Antonio. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. Thurman Fleet that made this image. and he's from San Antonio. So
Interesting.
this is an image of the mind. It kind of looks like one of those ankhs or whatever.
Hmm.
And he created this to kind of, I think you saw me present this before on a live stream, but he created this to kind of explain what the mind looks like. And a lot of people confuse the brain and the mind. And this is your conscious, this is your subconscious, and this is your body. And these are sensory factors. You can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So a lot of times people rely just on these senses and think just the outside world is all that it is and all that it will be. And what happens, our upbringing as we become, when we're kids or we're growing up, our parents, our environment, it shapes our beliefs at a very early age. This is the big thing. People take this way into their adult life,
Oh, yes.
and to their grave, So they have these beliefs that they think they can achieve certain things or be certain people or have certain things. And I see it in a lot of people I talk to because they allow their current circumstances and their past to dictate their future. And I'm like, okay, this is what you want here, right? Okay. All of your thinking and knowing of yourself brought you to this moment. You have to override those old patterns to become a higher version of yourself. And they're called paradigms, right? This is a big word that, people know kind of, but a paradigm is a multitude of habits that's fixed in your subconscious mind. So it's
Right.
basically ideas that you don't know that's there. And they're just kind of, okay, Martha wants to go here. Nope, you stay here. Right. And you don't know that it's holding you back. It's kind of funny,
Yeah,
right?
I call it a protective belief.
Right, right.
Because your mind, your thoughts are telling you this is a prophetic truth, but it's really not. It's a protective belief that's saying I'm gonna protect you because we never been here before.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we fear the unknown, which is natural,
Mhm.
right? And we like to stay in our comfort zone in that bubble because anything outside of it is foreign. So
Right.
you desire something because that spirit seeking expression to and through you. It wants to be more. It wants to express itself. That's why we desire more. And we're a goal seeking organism. So we want to become more like the flower that wants to grow, like the tree that wants to blossom into the tallest tree or whatever. So as human beings, we desire more things because we want to express our experience. We want to express ourselves. So it's interesting. You want something, but that paradigm, everyone has varying degrees of
Right.
limiting beliefs, and
That's
I
true.
find them. I find them, and I let them see it. It's always from a place of love, right?
Right.
And they're like, okay, I see that. So either they move forward. It's called the terror barrier because it's very uncomfortable to grow. Either they break
Yes.
through or they bounce back to their comfort zone. And
What do you do when they bounce back?
oh, I stay in touch. I stay in
Because
touch.
it's a roadblock, right?
Yeah, it really is. And I stay in touch with people, everyone I connect with, even if, because growth, it's interesting, people have to choose to grow, and it's a choice. It can't be forced,
That's
you
true.
know. And, you know, people don't resist change. They resist being changed.
Mm.
So meaning, I can't force it, but I can guide you and tell you what's happening, you know.
Right.
Because I study this every day, for a couple of years now, and it's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah, mindset is something. So moving from why is it complicated? Tell the audience why is it complicated to move? You're in a 9 to 5 and now you're opening a business. Why is it so complicated to move in that transition when it comes to mindset? Why would you say that?
Good question. Well, it's complicated, one, because we don't understand ourselves.
Okay.
right? So, and it's interesting you said to move because you not only move physically, you will move mentally as well.
Mhm.
So, and first, your thoughts have to move, actually, because the body, here we go, Martha, thank
It
you.
will move with it, right?
Exactly. So, I was just telling this on a client call. The body is an instrument of the mind. So, the body, it moves because the mind tells it to do it, right?
Yeah, it does.
So,
That's true.
here is your subconscious. So this is what dictates the movement, the behaviors and actions of the body every time. So how do things get here in your subconscious mind? It's the thoughts you have in your conscious. So they also call this the emotional mind down here. It's your feelings. So notice I smile a lot and I'm kind of funny, but I get excited talking about this. So I've impressed certain feelings here. So they call it your garden as well. So you're kind of planting seeds from your conscious mind that you think about every day. What are you
Mhm.
focused on? What are you aware of? And whatever you're planting here, the body has to express itself. So if I said stand up, you don't try to stand up, you do or you don't.
Right.
It's the expression, right?
Express it,
Oh, let
right.
me try. No, you do or you don't. So the body naturally expresses. So if you keep impressing, hey, I know I'm meant for more. I know I can succeed in that business that I want to start, or write that book, or buy that house, or buy that car, or transition fully in entrepreneurship. Whatever that dream is, that goal is, you get emotionally involved with it. Get very serious. Think about it every day, and you fall in love with it. You fall in love with the goal and
Yes.
you start feeling it. Guess what you're doing, right? The body's at a different vibration when you're thinking about that goal, that direction that you're going in life. And I didn't know these things. Everybody talks about goals and stuff, but when you know it at a different level, you start really understanding who you are and what you're capable of, which is unlimited. The only problem and solution is your own thinking.
Right. The
You know?
limitations that you put on yourself.
Exactly. And
Right.
limitations are here in your subconscious, right? It starts here, but when they're here, they're like, what do you call those weeds? You got to pull them out of that garden, get them out of
Yeah.
there, right? Because they'll crowd every other beautiful thing you planted, you
The
know?
little foxes that destroy the vine.
There you go. Exactly. There you
Yeah.
go. So all you're doing, you're overriding these weeds. You're tending to your garden, so to speak. And it's not complicated when you understand what's happening, right? Because your
Right.
environment can really, it can shape your thinking, Martha. It
Yes.
can, if you're around a bunch of negative people, people aren't going nowhere, people that shoot your dreams down, people that don't support you, you got to get out of that environment or limit yourself in that environment.
That is true. Or you'll stay where you are.
Yes. Here's another quote. That's, you can count how many. You become the average of the five people you spend the most time around. And I believe that's Jim Rohn. But, that is so true. When you look back at your life, at different environments that you're around, you'll see that you're kind of moving like them, right? And even your income matches,
Oh
even
my
how
God.
you talk about other things, you're like on this frequency vibration. I know what it is, but it's very interesting. So if you're at a negative, traditional job and, people just barely work or whatever, and they're not driven, they don't even think of dreams anymore. I got my check. I'm good. I showed up on time, or showed up late. Trust me, I've seen so many environments. It's crazy. So that will shape what you think. Remember, these are your sensory factors. So if you're seeing that every day and hearing gossiping every day, guess what's going on in your conscious mind, right?
All of that negativity
Yes. And guess where it's going at? Down here.
hitting your emotions.
hmm And we say you're the plaything for outside forces. So you're allowing other things outside of you and your consciousness be dictated about what you feel and what you believe. And
That's why you
people
have to be careful what you listen to, what you allow in your heart and
exactly.
your spirit. That's why we have to guard our heart because that's what its emotions flow out of. So,
Hmm.
so true. We have to be careful what we put in our spirit
Yeah, you're right. You're
because
right.
we'll walk out the negativity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you bring something to mind that I didn't say, which is very important. Um, the conscious mind can accept or reject any thoughts. This was one of the biggest things I received from this little thing that just looks like a stick person that I haven't put down yet, but it helps people see, right? So the conscious mind is your thinking mind, your intellectual. That's where all your certifications, your education goes. But the gift here, you can accept or reject any thoughts, right? So I can accept that person saying, "Oh, I don't like your tie. That tie is ugly." I can receive that, and then I can feel bad about it,
Right.
right? Or on the flip side, I love that tie, Jamel. That is a beautiful tie. I can still accept that, and then I feel good about it,
Right.
right? So good or bad, you can reject, right? You have that gift. And most of us are conditioned not knowing that. So we're just letting in all this social media, all the negativity,
Oh
just
goodness gracious,
all of it,
yes.
right? And then you wonder why you're feeling exhausted by the end of the day, or you're creating things in your life that you don't want because now your vibration is low and you attract what you vibrate. That is so key. And subconscious can only receive. It can only take what you give it. It can't reject anything. And it doesn't know what's real or make believe. This is the see, I'm giving you the sauce, man. This right here, they say it's connected to infinite intelligence, spirit, or God, right? Whatever religious background people are watching, right? So it says that this here, your emotion, your feelings are connected to the source. So when you're emotionally involved with whatever it is, it will create whatever you give it. That was massive for me. You know what I do? I'm very, and you said guard your heart. That is so beautiful how you shared that. Um, I people say different ways, but you can just be aware of your thoughts, right? Usually you want to be aware, especially negative thoughts. You want to just not like, oh, there's a negative thought. Don't make it force. That was me in
Right.
the beginning because it was very forceful. I was like, oh, I'm taking negative today. I gotta stop. Like it's funny because some people do that. They
No,
overthink
really,
thinking.
sometimes you have to shut it down though. You have to shut it down and say, I can't do this.
Yeah, yeah. It's all
Or
about
you have to understand what you're protecting yourself from.
right, understanding. Yes. And that's
Mhm.
what we're getting today, an understanding.
Right. You have to understand what you're protecting yourself from.
Exactly.
Because warnings are good when you need them. But then there's the negativity. When you're ready to grow, you need people who've been there to grow with you.
Yeah, you got it. You said it so well, you know. And I didn't really understand the magnitude of that. Um, I mean, to be trained by Bob Proctor, I'm so grateful because he kind of woke me up to that. I didn't know
Okay.
about environments. Um, and he's very conscious of the people he spent his time around. And I learned that through him. You know, I was like, wow. And not to never judge anyone, you know, I don't judge people. Everyone's at a different level in life, mentally and
Yeah.
spiritually.
I
And
don't judge people either. You're right. It's behavior.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I had to shed a lot of environments, you know, to be where I
Yeah.
am now.
So you
Uh,
mentioned Bob. Why Bob? Why Bob? And somebody, the audience may not know who you're talking about, but why did you choose him?
Um, it was a spiritual connection. It really was. You know, spirit comes in many forms. God comes in many forms and speaks through many forms. And there's a difference between hearing with your ears and hearing with your heart. And I could not turn him off that night. I had to work, I think, 7 in the morning. I stayed up until the sun came up, watching his videos over and over. Like it could have been probably over 100 videos, easy. And I never heard anyone explain things like him. And it's
And so
interesting.
you're under his umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I attracted his mentor actually before him, Earl Nightingale. They're like one of the founders of personal development, personal growth, way back in the
Okay.
60s. Um, so I kind of attracted the root of where a lot of this came from. There's a lot of people now, leaders in the industry. But I it's weird because sometimes visually I'm looking at him like, okay, he's talking some stuff. But this is not who I thought would guide me, what I was
Okay.
seeking. Remember the eyes can be a gift and a curse, right? You'll see a person and not know that's the message you've been waiting for. That's the teacher to guide you, right?
Okay.
So at first I was like, who's this guy in this nice suit and he's spitting on Kay. Like when he talks, he's spitting and he's screaming and his voice inflects and I'm watching all these nuanced things. And coming from a music background, of course, I noticed little things like that. And I was
Okay.
like, wow, listen to his words though. Whoa, he said that. And he's a great storyteller too. So he's
Okay.
able to incorporate storytelling with the message that he's trying to share. So very inspiring and motivating. But beyond that, life transformational, you can easily get inspired, but it's temporary unless you have consistency and a goal, persistence.
Okay. So what are do you have any future plans that you would like to share? Anything coming up?
Um, I do monthly masterminds. I'm setting up a bunch of dates for February. I'll be doing, I'm sure, another masterclass in the Be Awesome Network. And I am doing a launch, a live launch, which is like a online event in March. So I usually post them on my Facebook banner, the dates and times,
Okay.
and I have a private Facebook group where I go in there live and I do different shares and go deeper into a lot of these concepts that I'm sharing.
Your
Always,
mastermind class is that's what you invited me to and that I came to one time, right?
right. Yeah, that was a
Okay.
mastermind class.
Right. It was pretty good. Tell the audience what's the purpose of that?
Yeah, masterminding is one or more, two or more people, right? So it's basically kind of like this. And it's a term that's been actually loosely grown from its roots, but masterminding is when you come together in a supportive group, you know, and you come together to help each other and give value, to share concepts and support, and also just share knowledge. And usually there's one or two people that are seeking some type of guidance in their life, personally or professionally, and we're just there to kind of give support around. It can be topic based, or it can be just on the individual to help them with whatever it is that they're trying to achieve or whatever obstacle they're facing. It's just like a support circle. And I love hosting those and just giving value there. Occasionally it goes into topics because, a lot of people know I talk a lot about, these topics and they're seeking guidance,
Okay.
So that's mainly what a mastermind is. There's some that are more regimented where you're reading, they're like, I release myself to the mastermind. There's like these terms you can use, but they're just informal. They're not as formal as that because you have
Okay.
tiers of them, right? You can have your really close circle of people that you decided to grow with, and that's a high level mastermind, right? So,
Okay.
but this is kind of like an open, public, informal mastermind.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what is your onboarding process when you have a client?
Well, first I talk to the person. We have a conversation about where they are, where their goals are, and what they're looking to achieve. And then I share details about how I work with clients. I have weekly calls, just like this on Zoom. They're always hold accountability and also to check in and answer any questions and just guide and help. But after, once you break through that fear to the goal that you want to achieve
Hmm.
and you're serious about it, we have our first orientation call. So you get access to like a back office of material and stuff like that. I just kind of walk you around it and answer any questions. And then that's our first call. And after that, we get direction in life. We talk about
Deep dive.
goals. Yep. Go straight into where you want to go and who you have to
Okay.
become because the self-image will try to hold you back from your goals that you really want.
Okay. Well, thank you. So with that, we ending this, but I want to end on on another note. Can you give our audience one piece of advice that you would like to leave with them?
The one piece of advice I would give everyone, listen to that voice within. If you're tired of being stuck where you are and you feel like you're meant for more and you want to improve your lifestyle in any way, listen to that voice and act on it because you'll look back and your higher self would thank you for making those uncomfortable decisions. And also value mentorship. If you've been stuck and you feel like, I'm tired of this. I want to make more money or I want to do this or do that. You should really, really listen to that and take action because you'll look back and be in the same place and that creates a lot of frustration and be open, to mentorship because I wasn't in the beginning. Um, I wish I understood it more and invested in myself in the past, because I'll be a different version of myself now. But I would do it over and over again because it allowed me to become who I am. And like I was saying earlier, it kind of found me and it wouldn't leave me alone until I faced myself. And it's kind of like the freedom I was seeking. And, the fear you will have to face is once you break through it, the freedom you've been seeking is on the other side. So definitely welcome, that uncomfortableness and value mentorship and listen to that dream because you know how many people give up on themselves? Oh, I'm too old or I don't have the money. People allow their outside world to dictate their inside. So never do that. It's inside out. And if you have something speaking to you over, especially continuously over years, it's been telling you, and that's why I love doing what I'm doing. I show you yourself, and that's who you really are. But yeah, I
Once
can
you've been introduced to yourself, the world
exactly,
changes.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, Jamel, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure dialoguing with you all the time. And to the audience, if you want to reach out to Jamel, his information will be in the video comment section and on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Please do subscribe because I always have amazing people on my platform. And I would love for you to get the alert so you can hear what's going on and see maybe see someone that may intrigue you where you want to reach out to a mentor, a consultant, a therapist, a counselor. Those are the people I have on the platform to help you out so that you can find the help that you need. So I just want to thank you guys for listening and have an amazing Monday. It's your time to shine. Your journey to chart. Coach Rice wisdom will heal every heart. So join us now. Let's make life survive.
Coach Rice.